Okay, hello everybody, and welcome. Today I have my lovely client, Denise, with me. And I wanted to bring Denise on because Denise was struggling with quite a few things that a lot of you I know are struggling with. And we've now been working together for over 9 months, and she is in a very different place to the one she started. I'm not going to give too much information because I want Denise to share it herself. But let's get started. So welcome, Denise.
Thank you, Vanessa.
Um, so thank you for doing this, because I think it's really important that people understand what's possible when you approach this whole process the right way. So let's start off. Would you be able to tell me a little, or tell everybody a little bit about the things that you were struggling with when you first came to me, after you had your operation, etc. So when you came to me when we first started working together.
Yeah. So I had a lot of challenges before I came to you and I started the program. Um, my challenges has been going on for a while, and I had an immense energy loss. I had a lot of fatigue. I had a lot of brain fog, and it was completely unexplained as well. And it was affecting my mood and my mental health and how I was performing at work and generally in life. And I went to doctors, my GP, several times over a course of several months. And the result, just before I started your program, the result was that they couldn't help me anymore because my blood tests, the checks on me, everything was looking normal, and they could not explain what was going on with me. So I was in a very hopeless and helpless place before I started your program.
And tell me a little bit about how you were feeling on a day-to-day basis in terms of the fatigue. How was it affecting you?
On a day-to-day basis, it was very difficult to wake up, and also to get out of the bed as well. It was like I never rested. I had, I don't know, 100 years of fatigue and tiredness riding on my shoulders. And I had to drag myself out of the bed, uh, essentially coffee after coffee, trying to stay awake and continue with my meetings and with my life. And a lot of the time, I would actually crash around 3 o'clock, 3 o'clock. I would need at least half an hour to an hour, almost a nap, and just disappear before coming back to life a little bit. And I was very sluggish, and just thinking, doing things felt so much effort. So being able to do my work and also to do the things that I need to do in my personal life or about my family, for example, was an absolute challenge. So day to day, I was a very unhappy person.
I remember our first conversation when we spoke, and I remember you were really struggling. So apart from visiting the GP, had you tried anything else previously?
I tried several things even before going to GP because I associated my symptoms to being sick very often. So before coming to you for 6 months, basically I was sick throughout, one cold after one flu after something else. So I was researching and using a lot of supplements, herbal supplements, vitamins, minerals. I was trying to do meditation, like mindfulness. I can't say I was very successful. I tried sleeping long hours over the weekend, not coming out of the bed. I tried to change my nutrition as well to the things that I've learned by researching, which I know now weren't the right things, really. And yeah, I think those are the things that I've done in terms of researching online, trying out what everybody says. And I spoke to people, by the way. I did speak to some of my colleagues, some of my friends, like what they would do, and they recommended things. And I tried actually therapy as well, so counseling sessions with CBT and other therapists. I thought it maybe it's depression, or anxiety, but it just didn't make a difference at all.
And did you make any associations with perimenopause, or had you kind of ruled that out?
Honestly, I haven't made any associations with perimenopause. As you know, I had a surgery. I knew that I had an imbalance for my hormones that was causing some abnormalities in my body. But perimenopause kind of crossed my mind a little bit, but I didn't associate the symptoms with that because they came in a way so slowly. They came through a longer period of time, and it suddenly hit me
Mm.
for like 6 months and over. And I just didn't make the connection somehow.
And I think that's important to say because a lot of women who are experiencing the symptoms that you're describing, the fatigue, the brain fog, etc., the immediate association is, oh, it's perimenopause, and therefore it's natural and it's just part of the process of getting older, and so therefore we should accept it. And perimenopause, yes, it can start in our mid-30s and late 30s, early 40s, different for different people. But I think it's really important that nobody thinks that everything is automatically down to perimenopause. I always say, and I've said this to you, perimenopause is the camel that breaks the straw that breaks the camel's back. It's never the actual underlying cause, because that would be a very unfair design flaw for women if we were to expect to lose all our energy and feel like utter crap. Half the population would be affected. So I think it's really important to say. So we spoke.
If I may add as well, I did ask the GP, the doctor, if it could be perimenopause, and he immediately discounted it. That's one of the reasons that I didn't make the association with
Mm,
perimenopause for myself.
yeah, yeah, and I think quite rightly kind of discounted it. So what kind of when you were talking about working with me, did you have any hesitations in doing the work with me, the program with me?
I didn't have hesitations about working with you as in person and your expertise, but my hesitations were about the demands of the program because I was feeling so tired, so drawn out. I had nothing left. So it meant that some things had to drop. And to be able to make those changes, I had to put in more effort than I would probably have to if I was feeling normal. So being able to put a new structure in place, following your recommendations, being able to even join the calls, to be honest with you, like spending that time and energy and being able to focus. Those were all concerns for me at the start. Like, how would I be able to satisfy what is needed to get better? But then I had a kind of a reality check, and I thought, like, what is important, right? What is important in here? I want to get better, and if I don't put that effort in, I'm not gonna get better. So I better drop the priorities that are not really priorities or not really urgent and focus my energy in here, and then things will hopefully fall into place.
Yeah, yeah. And they did,
Yeah,
thankfully.
indeed.
So what was the first thing you noticed when you started working with me? When was it that you noticed some improvements, and what were they?
It took me a few weeks to be able to start putting things into place. I had to be very structured. I had to be in a way, really disciplined to be able to follow everything. And I think that actually resulted in a faster recovery than I thought. I think within the first 6, 8 weeks, I started to feel better. I was able to walk longer distances. So that was one of the things that I measured for myself. I could only walk about 3,000 steps before I was absolutely exhausted. Within 6 to 8 weeks, I was already walking 5, 6,000 and I was feeling better. And generally, my mood started to improve as well. Like psychologically, I was feeling better because my sleep and my energy levels were more matching to Um, I wouldn't say that what was before, but I kind of what I expected during recovery from something. So for me, that was a very fast result. I didn't really expect, because there was a period that I was trying to do things and it wasn't happening every day, turning things into habits, changing the way that I eat, I sleep, um, adding in the supplements. I think that was a fast result.
Yeah, yeah. I think it is, bearing in mind how long it takes for somebody to get to the place that you were,
Absolutely.
to start to notice a difference and improvements in 6 to 8 weeks is really pretty quick. So what stood out for you in terms of the approach that is perhaps different to other things? If you have looked, I know you do your research, so you knew what you were coming into and you knew what else was out there. So
Yes.
what stood out that was different in this approach?
What stood out for me was that, especially when I spoke with you, I could see that you would give me that leeway to be able to implement things step by step. And there was a lot of things in there, but you had a method, and you provided me with the guidance about how it would go, how things would go. Also, what I find with other programs, I mean, to be very honest with you, there's nobody who does what you do. And even if they do something very similar, it doesn't have that personalized approach. Whereas in this program, working with you, it's about me, my individual needs, my individual situation, covering from nutrition to lifestyle to even, how I think about stuff, from boundaries to protecting myself. And I think that had a very positive impact in terms of making that decision, that I felt that there were a lot of elements where I would get that guidance and also support from a community of women. In some of these programs are just online, you go and do your things, whereas this is a combination. Yes, I go and do my own things, I train myself, and it's a long-term solution. It's not that I work with you and then that ends. But being with other women, seeing what they're experiencing, and them being supported by them, even if it's just moral support, to be honest, it just convinced me to make that decision to work with you.
Yeah, and I think the community side of things is really great. And there is a really nice group of women, and you all do support each other on the calls and in the group and share things. It's nice. It's definitely, I think that makes a difference. And what about the mineral side of things, the mineral testing and the kind of personalized approach to the supplementation? Was that something new to you?
So the mineral testing and the supplements that are particularly combined for me was a very new thing. In terms of testing, I know there were a lot of tests available, and pros and cons to everything, right? But I haven't found anything in a way as comprehensive. It would have been a lot more difficult to bring all of the aspects together that mineral testing actually gives. And again, supplements being customized to me is a new thing. So I learned so much from you in terms of supplementation, about the balance of things, that you can have too much of a good thing or too little of a good thing, for example, and being able to receive something that I know that is tailored to me and not tailored to that moment of time. So the way that you do things is, right, I have a certain amount of supplementation, and then we redo the testing. So I know, as I'm evolving and changing, uh, the the supplementation and nutrition I get from that changes with me. And seeing that now that I'm 9 months in, I can see that that makes a difference.
Yeah, yeah. And I think on your point about the customized, personalized supplementation being new to you, I think it's new to everybody because there is nobody in the UK that offers it. As you know, I work with a company in North America, and they're the only company I know of that offers it. And when we say personalization, what we're talking about is being able to formulate a mineral and vitamin and other nutraceuticals. We can put other things in, like we can put herbs in and different things depending on what someone needs at the exact amounts that you need. So it is formulated for you in a powder that you drink. And yeah, there's nobody else doing it. So that's why I think that it makes sense when people hear about it, because why wouldn't we be doing that? Why aren't we doing that? When I came across it, I came across this company and I was like, wow, why hasn't this been done before? But actually, the only way that you would be able to do it is if you run the mineral test in the first place to be able to know what somebody needs. And there's no other tests that you can use that will give you that information. And I think that that's the difference. And that's why I believe everybody should be doing this test, and then everybody should be personalizing their, and even if you're not really sick, just for general health and longevity. But most people won't do that. They'll do it only when they get, really sick, and then they'll go looking for solutions. But at least those people are getting better, which is what's so important. So what would you say is your greatest result so far?
So far, I basically have myself back.
Could you just say that again? Because your sound just went completely at the beginning. Could you say that again?
Okay. My greatest result so far is I got myself back. I feel like as I have my energy back, the mental fog has lifted, and I feel like I'm living my life as it is meant to be again. I think this is one of the greatest gifts that I got myself back. And the second thing I would like to add is this program really helped me to shatter the illusion that I should be full of boundless energy, boundless mental space, and able to help everybody and yet still be amazing. It made me realize that I actually have a capacity. I actually need to prioritize myself and realize that my body is changing and everything is changing in my life, and it still can be enjoyable. Just getting older doesn't mean that I have to get less of anything. It's just a new stage in my life. So yeah, it made me a happier person.
Brilliant, brilliant. And I think that's an important point too, is that we're not talking about we're not talking about having limitless energy and everything else. We've got to be realistic. We are heading into most women coming into this are heading into their 40s, or they're already in their 40s, or in their 50s, or even their 60s. And it's not about being something that is unnatural. It's not unnatural energy. We're not getting a buzz. We're not going to give, it's not like drinking loads of caffeine. It's not that, but it's about getting ourselves to a point where we feel good most of the time. And look, we're humans. We're not supposed to feel good 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. But we certainly shouldn't be feeling crap 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And I think that that's the point, is that we should be feeling good the majority of the time, able to do our jobs, do the things we love, and not feel like we're kind of dead at the end of the day if we try to do those things.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
Yeah. Brilliant. Thank you very much, Deniz. It was really lovely to chat to you, and I'm delighted that you have got those results. And I look forward to continuing working with you, because we are still working together. But yeah, thank you for doing this and coming and having a chat and sharing your experience.
Thanks, Vanessa, for giving me the opportunity as well to share this with other women really who needs this kind of support, and to reassure them that it's a place where I believe that they will for sure see results and start to have their life back, essentially. Thank you.
Brilliant. Thanks.